Hey everybody, welcome back to Arena Hacks. My name is Kyle Wagner, and today I'm going to be looking at Fynn the Fangbearer. You may have encountered a few decks like this in the meta recently that basically rely on his ability, if you read the card there, whenever he has Death Touch for 1, 2 mana, 1/3 creature. That's pretty good actually for a Death Touch creature alone. 2 mana, 1 power, 3 toughness, and he's got Death Touch. So the 3 toughness helps keep him alive, and the fact that he's got Death Touch doesn't matter that his power's so low. It's his other ability there that everybody's kind of like, ooh, good ways, fun ways to win a game here. Or new ways to win a game, I guess. See, the thing is, whenever a creature you control, as long as you have this guy on the battlefield, as soon as a creature you control with Death Touch deals combat damage to a player, that player gets 2 poison counters. So that's really cool, and if you read the brackets there, a player with 10 or more counters, poison counters, loses the game. So every Death Touch attack or damage does 2 poison counters on your opponent. So that means you only need 5 successful attacks, or creatures need to deal damage. Creatures with Death Touch need to deal damage to your opponent at least 5 times, or only 5 times, and then they die from poison counters. And there's no way to remove poison counters, as far as I know. There might be, but I highly doubt it. So maybe on paper there is, but I really don't think there is in Arena. So anyways, most of the decks you see using this guy all go on a green-black kind of theme, because green and black are actually the best colors for Death Touch, which is why why I've splashed the card in that you see right above Fynn here, is the Rune of Mortality, because it gives Death Touch to a creature that doesn't have Death Touch. And this deck is unique in the sense that it's not your classic Fynn deck where it is green and black. Those are not the main colors of this deck. The main colors, as you can see here, are white and green, which is kind of weird for a Death Touch deck, but that's the thing. This is not a Death Touch deck. Yes, it does feature Fynn, and yes, we do try to win with poison counters, but we don't care if that's not the way we win, right? That's the thing about this deck. What I've seen most in the meta when people are trying to build decks around Fynn is they're trying to make the decks win by putting poison counters on their opponent, and like that's the main win con. And they try so hard for winning that particular way, I feel like it backfires on them often. So this deck I've kind of designed as like, Fynn is almost more of a way to scare your opponent and distract your opponent, because your opponent gets so afraid of those poison counters, they focus on killing Fynn as fast as they can. But since you have lots of other ways to gain value, to get lots of card draw, to do double strike damage, like this, yeah, so like there's so many ways to do that in this deck, that if you lose Fynn, it's like, okay, we're just going to go for a warrior beatdown now. Because if you look at Fynn's creature types, he is a human warrior. And that's where I got my idea for this deck, is I noticed that he was a warrior, and I'm like, there's a lot of power in tribal and warrior lately since Kaldheim came out. So the fact that he's a warrior, I actually tried to make this a warrior deck. Like warriors here. This guy is not a warrior. If he had the creature type warrior, he'd be way too busted, which is, yeah. So he's a god, Halvar, and you get the legendary equipment with it. So you've got we've got equipment here, Rune Crowned, equipment here with the Sword of Realms and Halvar, God of Battle. Well, he's not an equipment, but yeah, you have the legendary equipment, right? There's 3 copies of them. You can only have 1 legendary on the field at a time, so you can only have 1 Sword of Realm or 1 Halvar. Even though there's 3 copies of these cards, you can only have 1 of each on the battlefield at any given moment anyways. So yes, then we have Oakhame Adversary here. I always say that advisory. It's adversary. But anyways, what was I going to say here? Yes, he has Death Touch, which goes with Fynn, and that is a big part of it. Another big part of it is this guy helps with card draw. If you're lucky enough to have an opponent that plays green, well, that's just awesome. Paying 2 mana for this guy is kind of stupid, right? So, and that's what you get. He gets reduced by 2 colorless if your opponent has a green permanent. So if your opponent's running green, you don't get him for 2 mana right away. You have to wait till your opponent plays a green mana. And if you have enough mana to play this guy for 2 and kill something your opponent has, or destroy a green permanent that he has, and you want to get rid of it, let's say a Scute Swarm. I don't know if that happens in the video, but there is a game where I was playing this deck, and I did go up against Scute Swarm, which is a green insect creature, and yeah, he was costing 2 less, so he was only costing me 2 mana, and I was going to use the ram through to kill it. But I'm like, play the Oakhame Adversary first, because if I use the ram through to kill the Scute Swarm, my opponent won't have any green permanents on board. And then he'll cost 4 mana again, right? So play him for 2 first, then kill the Scute Swarm. And then I still get him for 2 mana. So he's really good, though, when he gets damage through to opponent, you get to draw a card, which is really awesome on a Death Touch creature, because nobody wants to block a Death Touch creature. Right? They know they're going to lose their creature to it regardless. Although they do want to make you avoid that card draw, so that I do find I do get a decent amount of blocks out of this guy, so you do have to keep that in mind when you're just attacking in and swinging in with him. Halvar, like I said, he's just got the good warrior synergy with moving equipment and these runes, all these Rune of Might down here, and the other 2. I wish they were all side by side, it'd be kind of nice. But yeah, we got 6 runes in here, so he can move enchantments around. Sorry, and something that's actually really cool with him, that I discovered completely by accident, if your opponent plays a pacifism, or any similar kind of enchantment, bound in gold, here he's binding, like, list goes on. Any enchantment of that type that goes on your creature, if you think about it, you can move auras and equipment from creature you control to other creatures you control. So if you play creature, if you've got a pacifism on somebody, and you want to attack with that guy, but you also play a creature, you can play your creature pre-combat, it's got summoning sickness, then you use Halvar on the beginning of your combat to move the pacifism off of your other creature onto your creature with summoning sickness, because it's got summoning sickness anyways, and then you attack with your other creature that had the pacifism. On your opponent's combat, you take the pacifism off of that creature and move it to a creature that's tapped and can't block anyways. And you can do crazy little shenanigans like that with Halvar. And I didn't even know that until the only enchantment on my creatures or equipment was one of my opponent's pacifisms, and they gave me the option to do it, and I'm like, what? And then I'm like, ding, I read the card, I'm like, oh my god, you can do cool stuff with that. So I think you're gonna actually get to see a little bit of that. I do that in the video, I think. But yeah, that's really cool there. Rune Crown, more equipment, that synergistic, all equipment goes really good with warriors. 3 to play and 2 to equip. Sounds kind of clunky and not so great, considering that all this does is give you +1/+1 to the creature it's equipped to. However, it doesn't just do +1/+1. It digs through your library or graveyard to get a rune and put it directly on the rune count. So you're putting a rune onto the rune crown, so you're not casting the rune's cost. You're getting it for free. It's part of the 3 colorless mana for the rune crown, right? So for the 3 colorless and 2 to equip, you're actually getting a rune crown plus, you're getting the +1/+1 from the rune crown plus whatever the rune gives you. So it could be, if it's a Rune of Might, +2/+2 and trample is what the rune crown could give. Plus you get card draw when that rune enters the battlefield, and it could come from the graveyard or library or your hand. I usually don't do it from my hand unless I have something off color, like I have the Rune of Mortality, say, and I want to get it out on the battlefield because I've got warriors that don't have Death Touch, but I have Fynn on the battlefield, so it's like, I need more Death Touch, right? So I'll take the Rune of Mortality out of my hand if I have to, but I have 2 Rune of Mortalities. I would always go for the one in my library or graveyard first before going for the one in my hand. But yes, you can go for the one in your hand if you don't have the color of mana to cast it, right? So you're getting a free rune. For 3 mana, you're getting a free rune. You're getting to draw a card, right? Plus you're getting a card out of your library or graveyard, right? Like, that's like basically like 2 card draw, plus an equipment that for 2 mana can equip and give +1/+1 and various other abilities, because it all depends on what runes you run and what you put on it, right? So Rune Crown is just an awesome equipment to go with just runes, if you're running runes. In fact, I often, in warrior decks, I've been trying, because I've really been trying to figure out this rune thing and incorporate more runes into my deck, because the card draw, I think, is just awesome. So what I've been figuring out, if you run Rune Crown as your main equipment, and you run a bunch of runes, you rely more on the runes rather than equipment. The Rune Crown helps you grab runes out of your library and find the ones that you need. Same with Runeforge Champion, which I haven't got to yet, and I'm coming to him now, right? He also allows you to go into your graveyard or library to get a rune and put it into your hand. Into your hand's not as powerful, but he also reduces the cost down to 1 colorless. And that's a different option. When you go to play a rune, it'll come up with 2 different options. You'll have to select one. Pay its normal cost, or pay the Runeforge Champion's cost. 1 colorless mana. If you don't have the black mana for Rune of Mortality, doesn't matter. You can just cast it for 1 colorless anyways. So that's great there. Rune of Might, because that trample is just redonkulous, especially if you start getting double strike on your creatures, which we do that through Halvar. If you read his ability, creatures you control that are enchanted with a rune or equipped with either Sword of Realms or my Rune Crown, because those are the only 2 equipment. So if they're equipped or enchanted, they have double strike, right? So trample and double strike is just brutal. Not to mention Rune of Might is probably one of the more powerful runes, simply because it actually gives +1/+1 to the creature. No other rune does that. The red one, Rune of Speed, gives +1/+0, which is the next most powerful for boosting a creature's power and toughness. But the Rune of Might is actually the best of all the runes for power, toughness, enhance, plus a trample, plus a trample, plus it gives them trample. So it's just really powerful. Ram through, this is the only removal we use in the deck. Since we have so much death touch, it's very easy. It doesn't matter what most of our creatures' power is. If it's 1 damage, it'll still kill our opponent's creature, and that can come in really, really handy. And with all this card draw we get from the runes, 4 is not bad. Like, we don't, like, the warrior decks usually don't have any removal in them at all, right? That's right. But that's part of what makes this deck so effective. The fact that we get that ram through every now and then really allows us to pick off our opponent's super powerful stuff. So, excuse me. So, like, yeah, that ram through, it's just a neat little thing. I was thinking about taking it out, but I'm like, no. Like, this is going to be off the beaten path for a warrior deck. It definitely is. The fact that there's green in it is ridiculous. I bet people get so confused when I play this deck too. Like, they see Fynn, maybe they see Fynn first, and then they start seeing white warriors, and they're like, what? Or they'll see, like, Blademaster, and they'll start thinking warrior decks, and Halvar, and, you know, runes and stuff, like, in Runeforge, and then all of a sudden, I start playing Rune of Mortality, and they go, oh, that's good, double strike, right? Because they see my Kor Blademaster, which is the other way we get double strike, other than Halvar. It's very similar to Halvar's ability, but it's only warriors you control that are equipped. They have to be equipped, no enchantments, no runes don't work, they have to be equipped, and it has to be a warrior. But remember, almost everything in here is a warrior. The only thing in here that's not warrior is Halvar, and we can only have 1 on the battlefield at a time, and then the 4 Blightblades here. I'm not trying to pronounce that first word. Yeah, no, I'm not going to try. Where was I? Yeah, this guy's a warrior. Yeah, like I said, he's not a warrior, he's a warrior. He's a warrior, Fynn. That was what I said all in the beginning. This guy's a warrior here, right? So this is the only guy. He's just death touch synergy for Fynn. A nice little 1-drop give us. He's a great blocker, chump blocker, because he'll take down whatever creature he fights with, especially if you give him death touch, or first strike, I mean, right? Because the death touch, first strike, double strike works too. Is really brutal that way. So we've also got Feat of Resistance here, which is a protection spell. It gives a +1/+1 counter, which I'm not too crazy about. But most protection spells are 2 mana. And the fact that you can pump them up by +1/+1 is just an added bonus. Anyways, so I mentioned this guy already, the Blademaster. Yeah, these are just nice low drops here, and like low mana. And then we got the other 2 runes. I already mentioned that we have 6 of them. So yeah, to help get the death touch here on guys that don't have death touch, like Kor Blademaster, Runeforge Champion, and Halvar, right? So you help get them give them death touch. So that's 1. We only count this as 1 creature because we can only have 1 Halvar at a time. So the creatures without death touch we have are 1 Halvar, 2 Runeforge Champions, and 4 Blademasters. So that's 7 creatures that don't have death touch, and we have 2 sources of death touch in the deck, and 5 ways of tutoring those sources up, right? That's the great thing about Runeforge Champion. Runeforge Champion and Rune Crown is we get what we need when we need it, right? We go into our library, we go into our graveyard if we're playing a mill deck, and we happen to get a Rune Crown or Runeforge, or they haven't happened to mill it all. I play mill decks where they happen to mill everything that I can use to get stuff out of my graveyard, and I hate that. It's like, man, you milling me would be so powerful if I had those cards that you milled out of my deck. So anyways, yeah, so that's where these guys help too. So you can help get some stuff out of your graveyard if you're playing against a mill deck. Other than that, I think I've gone through everything. Yeah, I've explained how we use poison as a distraction usually. If we can, we'll use it to kill our opponent. protection, that's the word I'm looking for. Protection is actually very powerful. The main reason I put this in the deck is not only to protect my important creatures that I want to keep alive, and definitely not to put a +1/+1 counter. That's just icing on the cake. But the reason I put it in there is because if I'm up to against a player who has only white creatures, and you'll find a lot of times, even if your opponent has a mixed colored creature of white and green, you'll find that almost their entire battlefield is filled with white creatures or green, or not necessarily those colors, but one color of creature. And if you give your creature protection from that color, none of those creatures can block it. That's right, not blocking. Protection. If you read the protection box up there, creatures that have protection from other creatures cannot be blocked by those creatures. Right? So when you give your creature protection from what your opponent has, then you declare your attack. Your opponent can't block it, and that's like if it's got double strike and you put the death touch on it and then you give it feat of resistance before combat and then attack, that's 4 poison counters because you're damaging it twice, double strike, right? Every strike you get is 2 poison counters. So that's like getting your opponent halfway to death, almost like that. Or taking him from like 6 poison counters to death, like that, which I did do once, unfortunately not in the video, but I had a Kor Blademaster with a Rune of Mortality on it, and he wasn't very powerful, he's still just a 1/1, but then I gave it a feat of resistance. Opponent had an angel deck, lots of white angels, lots of blockers, he wouldn't have gotten through otherwise, but I had a Fynn on the battlefield, he was at 6 counters, I drew into a feat of resistance, I'm like, that's game. Protection from white, all his angels were white, he tacked right through, bing, bing, 4 poison counters, done. Anyways, enough with that. I went through the deck already. Let's go take a look at some gameplay and get back after that. Okie dokie. So, here we are. Okay, yeah, it's a somewhat aggressive start. Play tap land first, go into a 2-drop. I think it's okay. Looks like our opponent's going to have warriors with red-white. Start with tap land because we got nothing. No play on our first turn. We already got a crown. We really don't need another one right now. We want more creatures right now is actually what we want. Maybe even Fynn. Yeah, Fynn wouldn't be too bad right now. I'd probably pick him off with some kind of spell. It's so early. Let's go white into Blademaster. This can fetch, I guess it's going to have to fetch white, maybe black if we need to play our Rune of Mortality. No 2-drops? No 2-drops? From opponent? Jeez. We don't even really have, like, we have this 3-drop. We're drawing too many lands. He's got something. Alright, yeah. It's holding priority for him. Alright, so he lets that go through. Should I hold up for this? Yeah, let's do a bit slow. He hasn't done anything yet, so let's go a slower play. End turn. Hold up feat of resistance in case I need to protect my Blademaster from a spell or something. He could play a red burn spell to kill it. And with only 1 toughness, it'd be pretty easy for our opponent to hit this guy. Since he's only a creature, we really need to protect him. Okay. What do we get? We have lots of green in our hand. We've got 2 white out there, lots of green. Maybe go with black just in case we hit our rune. Yeah, let's do it. Confuse our opponent. Interesting. 4 mana, we can play the adversary. Adversary, is it? Yeah, adversary. Yes, adversary. Oakhame Adversary. Or we can... I don't know. I don't want to do this yet. I want to hold up Ram Through. I want to hold up this. I want to hold up everything. Let's get some Death Touch out there. This could potentially be card draw if I can get damage through. So we won't attack. 4 mana and we had so many options. It's like, what do we do? What do we do? So he's definitely not playing green. So this guy would be only 2 mana to cast if this guy was running green, but he's not. So I say next turn we hold up both these and we just go straight to combat. Maybe drop a land first and go straight to combat. He is definitely running knights, which is what I was predicting. 2 white, 2 green, 1 black. Yeah, we got even mana on the field. I can equip this right away. I say we go to combat first. What is this thing? Enters the battlefield. You control none of the top 5 cards of your library. Blah, blah, blah. You know, 3 mana for this. I say we hold up Feet of Resistance. Attack all in. Ram through here. So the damage goes through. We're going to draw a card from the adversary. Alright, because he gets his card draw. Woo, yeah. And another freaking land. Do I hold up this? Or do I play this? What do I do? Let's end turn. Opponent's been kind of slow rolling here. Flying, so he's going to do 3 damage in the air. If I can get him to block with his knight there, okay. I can let that resolve and do Feet of Resistance next turn. He can't, it's not like I can block him anyways. I'll let that resolve. Because I could do 3 Feet of Resistance right there. But I can also do it next turn just to shake it. Like, I can't block his flying anyways. But I'm thinking maybe I want to throw Rune Crown on something. Dang. What do I do? What do I do? Let's do it. Just let's shake that enchantment. Trample. That would be awesome. I can trade with... Here, yeah, let's go this way. I have an idea. And we're going to get the other Rune of Might from the library. Do I need life gain or anything? I might need life gain. Ooh, should I go life gain? Let's go life gain instead. Change of heart. And then we'll attack all in. Ooh, I get card draw from the adversary as well. And there's Fynn. A little late to the party, bud. Her health is so low at 9. I don't think poison counters are really gonna matter much to us right now. But he needs to slow down his attacking. He's not gonna beat us in a race. So now he's starting to go wide, which is smart. Got these guys nice and powerful. Ooh. Ooh, yeah. Okay. What do I want to do? Let's scry first. Yes, definitely want that. Rune. I don't think Fynn's gonna help much because we don't care about poison. So let's go with Halvar. Okay, resolve. Not that I didn't expect it to. I'll just leave that there. Keep the pressure on. Let's see what he does. You gotta remember that one guy's got double strike. He'll still die if his Ardenvale Tactician, the flying guy, If he blocks it, he'll still die, because he'll do his 3 damage, and he'll take the 4 eventually. Yeah, there he goes. Now he figures it out. I can't give protection either, because I have no mana left. Ooh, okay. Nice. Get a card draw, though, out of it. Could use some Death Touch on that thing. When I equip people... Oh, he might blow up Halvar. I hope he doesn't. Because I was going to say, when I equip people, they get double strike. Equip or... what's this? Enchantments. Equipping or enchanting. I think if I can, I'll equip the crown to the adversary. Never mind. Yeah, that's fine. I should have moved it on to Halvar. Well, then I couldn't move it off of Halvar. So he's gonna give. Yeah. I can't block it either. I can't get protection yet. Dang it. Okay. Go this way. We can't attack with Fynn because he'll have summoning sickness. Nobody else is gonna be able to have Death Touch. So we'll go that way. We can give him protection from white, and the Rune Crown is... Yeah, we can do that, actually. Attack with him. If we have to give protection, we can. That's trample, too, by the way. Boom. See? Another 6. We're up to 32 health now. Now we can go this guy's a good blocker. Although they've got... You know what? Let's save our mana so we can have 2 feet of resistances. I can also use Halvar to move the equipment over to Fynn before combat. Right before he goes to combat, we can actually move the pacifism around too. At the current moment, that doesn't do us any good. During our combat phase, we might actually want to keep that in mind, and we can move his pacifism over to Fynn if we want. It would almost be a nice way of protecting Fynn. He's playing it now, pre-combat. Well, that sucks. Well, we're going to move this over. Move this. Let me select it. There we go. This. Take action. He's got Death Touch and Double Strike, and he's also got Double Strike, and he doesn't attack, which is fine because we wouldn't have lost Fynn anyways, and all of that because we have we can give him protection. So let's go this way. Let's get this guy down so he's out there. Let's move this over to Halvar, and then go on to combat, and we're going to move this over to here. Yeah, and hold up protection spells in case they try to take this guy out. Or Halvar. I can protect Halvar as well. Protection from white. Because the creature is white. You don't care about what's attached to the creature, just the creature itself. And that's game. I forgot he's got trample too. Wow. How much would that have been? What was it? -6? So if you check, yeah, it still would have been -3. He would have had to double block, and it still would have been too much. It still would have been -3 if you blocked with this guy. So yeah, good job. Budget friendly. Yeehaw. Alright. First turn, second turn, maybe third turn, if I get the mana. I can't remember. Yeah, this deck has 22 lands, and I find sometimes I struggle with lands. With 22, which really it really doesn't seem like I should struggle for lands. It's only 2 short than what I normally use. And this deck has a lot of really low costing stuff. So, like, what do we need? We don't want to get flooded with lands. Although there is a game I did earlier today with this deck. Yeah, I think with this exact deck. And let's get the Evolving Wild down. And yeah, we almost got flooded with 22, but usually that doesn't happen. Usually with this deck, I struggle a little bit for lands. I'm thinking I should maybe hit that veto before he starts gaining life. And we can do that during his turn, though. What do I do with the Evolving Wild? Should I get another white, or should I go straight for black? I do have this to get black. Your end step, each one, you gain 1 life. Okay. At the beginning of your end step, so he does that with veto. Oh. Goes that way, okay. I was hoping I was going to get through the ram through first, before his end step, but it just goes to his end step anyways. I guess I have to put full control on or something. Let's go for the black mana, just so we have all of it. We don't really need doubles too much. Oh, I should have done it there, though. Oops. Oh well, should have done it first. So that's why I threw the oops, because I should have done that first. I did that in the wrong order. So, just letting them know I'm not a total moron, I just made a mistake. That's all. Let's get the Rune Crown out so we can get some card draw, card advantage and stuff going. What do we want? Do we want life gain? I don't think life gain is going to be huge. Let's go for the Death Touch because we're going to have double strikes. So let's go for Death Touch. There's a land. Did we miss a land drop this turn? I don't think so. No attack yet. He's just, yeah, that skeleton has actually got a little just too good of defenses. If I can get some first strike Death Touch on there. Oh, him and these enchantments, it's going to be pinging us all the time. That's going to get annoying. We should have went for life gain. Fynn. Never mind. Now that we got the Death Touch, I'm like, 2 damage, double strike. He'll survive. Oh yeah, I forgot stupid thing there. Good choice to block for blocking. Kind of need double. I need either trample and or lifelink. Lifelink would help. Then I can gain the life back from when I attack. We have oh, we have 2. Well, we can't play them both this turn. So what do we want? Trample or life gain? Let's go for life gain first. Right here. We can play that for 1 mana because of that guy. More card draw. Man, those runes with the card draw, dang. So I'm going to gain at least 2 life back anyways. He's going to hit us with the Scorpion, which is going to drain us for another 2. But, hopefully soon, maybe get some trample on here, start amping this guy up, get him a little more powerful. Oh yeah, we have stuff to sacrifice to keep that thing tapped out. Beginning of combat, sacrifice. Oh, he gains 3 life that way, okay. Well, we got a good chump blocker for the troll. We just need to make sure we gain lots of life. Ooh, him tapping out is not bad. That's 2, 4 poison counters. 5, okay, 2, 4, 6, 8. If I can give this guy Death Touch, that's game. And I can, because I can dig up Death Touch with the Runeforge Champion. Give this Runeforge Champion Death Touch. Oh no, I don't think it's Graveyard. No, it's not Graveyard. Library. Go with some more Death Touch. Play it on this guy. Attack with everybody I got. That should be enough poison counters to win. Oh, that's a lot of... I shouldn't have attacked with those things. These things too. But all these guys, all those triggers you got from that too. I forgot about that. All those crow... What are they? 2, 4, 6, 8. Wait, what? How much life was I? I was at like 12 or something. Yeah, 8, and then yeah, if I literally didn't attack, it was the goats. I got so careless there. That's why I lost. Oh my god. Yes, I would have won that game. I would have been down to 4 health. He would have had the 10 poison counters, and I would have won. But I just got crazy there and attacked, and I totally forgot about the goats. You got to calm down, people, and think about these things. Because yeah, that was a win. That was totally a win. But it's because of our own, my own stupidity that we lost. Anyways. Okay, don't feel too bad about that last game. Like I said, we should have won. It was because of my own careless stupidity that I lost. So we got a similar start here. We got a really powerful card coming up later. Putting that Sword of Realms on this guy, giving him vigilance, lots of power, double strike, and he comes back to your hand if your opponent finds a way to kill him. The only thing is exiling. If your opponent exiles your creatures, it does that. If you look up and you find Kor the Forge Master, I think, is a red-white warrior, dwarf warrior. He's actually forging the Sword of the Realms in the picture. Oh man, we got 2 tap lands. I want to go Kor Blademaster second turn, so let's go this on white. Let's just do it now. But yeah, so Kor, he's forging the Sword of the Realms in his picture, and his ability is basically the same as that ability. Not the equip ability. The equipped creature gets +2/+0 and has vigilance. The second one there, whenever equipped creature dies, return it to its owner's hand. Kor has that for, like, basically when you have Kor on the battlefield, all equipment has that ability. Whenever it's equipped to a creature, a non-token, because this doesn't work on tokens either, if that creature dies, he goes back to your hand instead. I kind of want to do this and then get either Blightblade or Fynn out. I really don't want to play tap land next turn, but I do have other 2-drops next turn. Let's go Fynn first. So we can maybe start threatening poison counters. And then we can go for a strong, like a warrior kind of beat down if he kills Fynn and we can't win with poison counters. Because we got a good setup for that too with the Blademaster and Halvar. All we need is a good piece of equipment to go with that. We could just go with Sword of Realms and hope to draw into another Halvar later. And then use Sword of Realms on this guy, keep bouncing him back, attacking for damage, bouncing him back, stuff like that. Maybe even give him Death Touch or whatever we can. Come on. Just hoping for an untapped land. He can block with his Llanowar. I can also use Ram Through to kill his Llanowar. Am I drawing any cards this turn? Unless I play this, which I kind of don't really want to. I don't really need to. Let's scry first. See what we got coming up. I definitely need another land. I need to make sure I have that land for next turn. Let's swing in, see what he does, just in case I do have Feat of Resistance. He has no mana up, actually, so he's going to take the poison counters. And I suppose I'll go this way. He sees the white. What is he seeing from me for white? Nothing yet. So he doesn't know what I have that's white. He also sees black here on my mana. So he sees white and black on my mana, but he sees more green than anything else. He sees Fynn and more Death Touch. So he definitely thinks I'm running a hardcore Fynn deck, that's for sure. Okay, there that comes. Not surprised. So there's my land that I wanted. Now I need to get rid of that Garath with this. It'd be really nice if I could get Fynn. Halvar. Not yet. Let's get Blademaster out, and we'll do Ram Through on his Gargarath. Just want to get that out of here now, and then do we want to go Blademaster? Yeah, we'll go Blademaster right now. No attacks. Leave some blockers 1 damage is not that huge to him right now. If it was going to put on poison counters, that would be a whole other story, but we don't have Fynn anymore, so... Ooh, Finn's... Okay, he's in the graveyard. I was going to say Finn's exile, but I have nothing in exile. Finn's in the graveyard. That's okay, we have more. And we don't need him to win anyways. It's not really... This deck is not like a Fynn deck. It's like a warrior deck with Fynn, and it kind of synergizes. It's weird. This is a weird warrior deck. I have another warrior deck that's way better. I'll probably make a video out of that at some point, but yeah, this is mostly just for... I made this deck for Fynn, so a green-white warrior deck is not like a real warriors deck. So... Okay, he doesn't want to trade with any of my ground troops. So that's good to know. He really doesn't want to lose that visionary. What does he have? He has 2 mana available. One of them is blue, so he could do a counter spell. I think we should try a ram through to see if we can kill his visionary. And then go sustenance on the Blademaster just because I need card draw. Or I could throw the Sword of the Realms on the Blademaster. And then not right away, because I'll have to equip him right away. And then start attacking. Ooh, that's not a bad idea. And then next turn I can maybe put the Rune of Sustenance on there. Let's go this way. Oh yeah, I forgot. He could have a counter. And this guy has Vigilance now. And Double Strike. And 3 toughness. So you can take 6 damage. You can lose your Visionary. And my guy will be fine. You can find a way to kill my Blademaster, in which he'll go back to my hand. So... No, you can't block. You can't tap and then block. You have to block first, and then you tap at instant speed. You can do that, though. You can get a mana out of him before he dies. You have to declare a blocker now, and the game will give you priority before my guy does first strike. Then you can tap him and get mana. There he goes. Look at that. So that was a lot to kill my guy who just goes back to my hand. Which is good. I like that. I like that he put that much into it to kill him. It feels like a lot to me, because he had to block with him and then use mana from him. His creatures have all been mana dorks so far, though. Question is, ooh, let's go Rune of Sustenance on the sword, sword on the Blightblade, get some life. What is that? That's 2, 3, that's 3 life gain. And then I can just get this guy on the field, or maybe hold up Rune of Feat of Resistance. That's not a bad idea. I'm game with that. Let's see what card we draw here. Sweet. And he has Vigilance too. Not that I can block the flying, but I gain life now, so I can kind of defend against the flying. I can keep my life total going up a little bit each turn because of that. So this will be sweet. Okay, well, he gains a card. That's sweet for him, not us. Alright. What do we want to do here? Let's get this guy down. Yeah, that's the good mana to use for that. So... attack. And then we'll do this at instant speed on this guy. I don't want to get any more card draw. We still gain another 3 life. And we hold up Feat of Resistance in case we need to give protection. Which I think will just be exile effects. Because if this guy gets destroyed, he goes back to our hand and he's only 1 mana, so no big deal. Okay. Okay. Can still hustle him with Death Touch. Yeah. Your big 8/8 doesn't scare my Death Touch that comes back to my hand. Okay. Okay. Although I do need to get damage through. I wish I could get Death Touch on this guy. And then I can attack with both and get around. This way he's going to block it. He's just going to keep delaying stuff. Yeah, let's just take a turn. Could put Death Touch on the crown using Runeforge Champion and attack with Kor Blademaster. And the Blight. Ooh. Yeah, let's go that way. Let's see how that works. Do I have any in my graveyard? No. Let's go Death Touch. We're going to put that on this. And then we're going to move it over here. And we're going to swing on in. 1 damage, I know that doesn't seem like much, and if he dies, he actually doesn't go back to my hand, but he'll take down the giant with him. And this guy's open to block still. And he's got Death Touch. Mwahaha. So even if he attacks him with this guy, he'll hit him first. And because it's Death Touch, he'll just die. Yeah, so that's weird that he's attacking. He must not know that's how it works. First strike, he dies. Nothing happens to him. And he's got the sword on it too, so he would just go back to my hand. Yeah, the sword too, buddy. Sword of the Realm. Nasty. And I'm getting so much more life than what he's taking away from me. Rune Crown. Get some trample. Maybe. Yeah, let's do pre-combat. Just get some target. I don't know what to do though. Trample? Library. Sure, let's go trample on this one. You know what? Let's throw it on our Kor Blademaster too. Just go 1 creature that's just going to be nasty. He's got Vigilance too. Is he calling it? Like, just giving up? Yeah, okay. So that worked out pretty well. I was like, yeah, we lost our Fynn, so we're going to switch into like a warrior beatdown. And that's kind of how this deck is supposed to work. If you can't use Fynn to kill your opponent with poison counters, you just, what was I saying? Beat down with warriors, that's right. You just do the classic warrior beatdown with equipment and runes, and seemed to work out pretty good. That was technically 3-0, but that middle one I know doesn't count because I made a mistake and I lost. Okay, so that's the deck. What did you think? I thought it was like the games do get long and grindy sometimes. It could just be the opponents that I go up against, depending on where you're at in arena. I would assume that they do put you up against either easier players that aren't as experienced, or they try to match you up with someone your level. Is more what they try to do. So because of that, I may be playing up against more difficult players. Although I thought today went rather well, and I'm going to say I won 3 out of 3. Even though there was the one in the middle there, I know where I technically lost. But like I said, it was just because of my stupidity with those goats. And I got excited because I found my win con with poison counters too. The only game I could have won with poison. And I screwed it up for you guys. I should actually give you an apology for that. I'm so sorry. I apologize for my stupidity. That would have been an awesome victory if I had just not attacked with those stupid goats. Like, wow, why did I do that? I totally forgot about those enchantments, the crow thing or whatever. Oh my god, that was just enough damage to kill me too. Unbelievable. But yeah, where was I? Yeah, that middle game. Dang. But anyways, it went really good. Other than that, everything went from what I could tell pretty much exactly the way I designed the deck. If you can't win with the poison counters, you go with a warrior beatdown. If you don't see Fynn, you go with a warrior beatdown. And if your opponent starts making that complicated, you switch to Death Touch and go with a poison win. And then your opponent usually can't stop. So it's like if one's not working, you just switch to the other. And it's really easy with all the tutoring that you get from the Rune Crown and the Runeforge Champion. And you tutor up all these runes with all these abilities. You tutor what you need when you need it. right? You get the lifelink when you need it. You get the death touch when you need it. Sometimes you make mistakes. I think there was the one game there I got the Rune of Mortality. I'm like, oh, I shouldn't have done that. I should have went Sustenance. But then I got something else out, like this guy or this guy or something that went really good with what I had. And I'm like, actually, it's better now because that guy doesn't have death touch. It's better that I got the one with death touch. I'm like, that's actually good. But yeah, let me know what you think of the deck. It is definitely budget friendly. I did switch it when I originally did this. It was not budget friendly at all. But when I look at it, it's really just 3 mythic rares here, 2 rares here. That's it. Only 5 cards that are rare and above, non-land. When it comes to the lands, we have these 3 rares here. You should have at least one of every temple if you complete all the beginner's challenges. I'm pretty sure all those free decks they give you in the beginning, you get at least one of each temple. That gives you a dual color. So that's why I ran one of each of these 3 to help with the black, as well as help balance our 2 main colors, and then Evolving Wilds as well to help fill in the gaps there. I 6th tap lands is often, even in my opinion, is just kind of too much. But the lands is what really made it budget. Before, if you exclude one Temple of Silence and the Temple of Plenty, I did not have a Temple of Malady, but I had 3 other Temples of Silence. So that was 3 rares there, and we'll exclude these 2 temples. And then I also had the pathways from Kaldheim and Zendikar to balance out these lands too. I had 8 of them. So I had a total of 11 rare lands in the original version of this deck. So I thought to myself, I'm like, you know what, if I cheapen up that land base and can still make the deck work, we've got a budget. We've got a budget deck here. And yeah, I like it. I think it's very budget. You do get these for free. I'm 90% sure. I can't really remember doing those beginner's guide videos I did. It's getting to be a while ago now, so I can't remember. I'm like, do you get this? I can't remember now if I got that or not. But I'm pretty sure you do. So I don't even really count those as rares because they do give them to you. So other than that, I find I do have a little bit of problem every now and then. I don't think we saw any in the video. Maybe we did with white. I think we maybe saw something with white. Too much white mana. But we managed to make it work out anyways. So yeah, it can get a little tough with the lands. So actually, I'm going to show you the other Fynn deck real quick here. That was Fynn budget, and this is just Fynn. So yeah, like literally everything's exactly the same. Then we get down, okay, the forests and the plains are very different. But here we go. So yeah, all the Temple of Silence is here. I didn't have them all in M21, so I got an M20 here. Whatever. Full set. Works out. All the Dark Board pathways and Branch Loft pathways. So these 5 here, all balance are green and white. This helps splash in black while also giving us green mana. This one splashes in black while also giving us white mana, which is one of our 2 main colors. So this deck, I've never had problems with mana color. I've never had problem casting a Rune of Mortality when I wanted to, or any of my other whites and greens. And like, yeah, this deck is really solid when it comes to, and it's faster too. You only have 1 less tap land in here, but the scrying you get from all these temples, which is actually, there's only 2 more temples in here. Then I never realized that. Be careful with them. If you scry with a temple and then play a rune count or a Runeforge and you go look through your library, if you don't look through your library, if you go straight to your graveyard, because it asks you first, where do you want to look? You can go to your graveyard. If you go to your graveyard by accident, you can click on the side of the screen, you can click to go to your library, which I think I do in the video. Or I think I did in the video. And yeah, you can go into your library. Once you go into the library, though, you're going to shuffle. So if you scry first, you're shuffling that card away. Unless you put it to the bottom, then it doesn't matter, right? But you might get it back on top, though, too. Remember that. But other than that, yeah, there's your non-budget friendly version. Just fix those lands up, put some rares in those lands, get your lands going real good, and then the deck just runs even smoother than what you just saw. So I hope you guys all enjoyed that. If you did, definitely hit the thumbs up, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And if you're new to the channel and new to Arena, go check out my beginner's guide video that I was talking about there, the whole playlist. I help you get started from start to finish, tell you everything, free cards, free packs, all kinds of neat stuff to help you get started. So go check that out. It's really good stuff. Have a great week, everybody. I'll see you at the next video. Go make some magic happen. And as always, cheers.